Okay, folks. This is going to be a layman's feeble attempt at an oil filter comparison. It's not going to be technical, so if you're looking for micromilligram measurements and things of that sort, well, you're going to be disappointed. But if you just want to take a look and see what I found and what I saw, have at it, because I sure enjoyed it. Anyway, these I got straight off the cross-reference from the Polaris Ranger Club, PRC. It's online. For those of you watching this that don't have a clue as to what that is, you need to do a search. PRC.com, PolarisRangerClub.com. It is a blast. And there are a lot of great people there, and there is just a ton, and I mean a ton, of information there to access and to share, like I am. Again, good people. They got an archive section that, man, if you want to kill an ugly, rainy, nasty day, hit the archives or hit whatever you want, the how-tos, the whatever. I can't say enough good things about PRC. They all fit my 2003 Ranger 4x4, the 500. What we have here, first, pure Polaris from my local Polaris dealer. Second, Napa gold filter, number 1358. If I have to tell you where I bought that, then, well, maybe you should just turn this off and go lay down. Wix, 51358, the local O'Reilly's. The Fram Ultra Extra Guard, XG7317, at everyone's favorite Wally Mart. Okay, guys. Casings are all pretty uniform. The Fram is taller than the other three. It seems to be about the same. It feels to be about the same quality or stiffness. The base of the Fram, see there, it's got a nice rubber O-ring seal. It's got some heft to it. It's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. The wicks, I can say the same. Be less holes. I can see it's just readily apparent. Yeah, again, it's got a nice rubber gasket O-ring, snugged up in there. Not quite as heavy as the Fram, to be honest. No, I'm not going to weigh it. Napa, 8 inlet holes, 8 on that one as well, and really comparable in feel, weight, just by holding it in your hand. The Polaris, it's extremely comparable to the Wix and the Napa. I mean, extremely comparable. Next, you have a silicone gasket. The silicone gasket. There's also the anti-drainback valve. Now, one thing is different with the Polaris than most definitely the Fram, but more so interesting to me, at least, was the similarities between the Polaris, the Napa, and the Wix, except for this part, this collar. I'll get to that in just a second. The Napa anti-drainback valve, and the Wix anti-drainback valve. The Wix uses just a simple stamped piece of metal. Sets down in the drainback valve right there. As does the Napa. On the Polaris, the anti-drainback valve, the silicone sealer here, this piece is considerably different. It has a spring inside of it, and it's perforated. It's got well, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 or 13 holes. I'm sure it's for oil to move through. Whether, I don't know if the spring is there to swirl the oil as she passes through, or if it's some sort of a pressure valve, because the others do have pressure valves, but on the very top, to where the Polaris does not. So I'm not sure if that's a combination of those two things, or it's just a valve and I'm making too much of it. I'm not sure, but it seats right down in there. Now the Fram is slightly different in that I think that's rubber. I think it's a rubber anti-drainback valve. Sits on there, and then the filter sets directly on top of the silicone, to where the Wix, Napa, and Polaris all set on top of the little metal things, and then as a spring coil on top. And the Fram has a rubber gasket on top, and it's got this leaf spring gizmo pressure valve. It's got a plastic catch in it. It's spring loaded. And it seats right there. And then, of course, the housing goes right over the top. Housing goes. Setting the housings aside for a second, I wanted to get back to the actual filtering media. There are fibrous paper. The oil passes through to filter. The more uniformity I've learned in the gaps, here the Polaris, I'll just show you on the Polaris. The more uniformity on the gaps of the filtering media, the better. The more space there is between the pleats. Talking about the space between. the easier it is for oil flow. That's, it's only natural. The Polaris is quite uniform. It's very uniform. The media is banded together with a metal clip here. Overall, though, particularly between the wicks, the Napa and the Polaris, this is so much more uniform. It's metal on top, metal at the base. The interior is perforated for oil flow, and it's a flat finish, meaning there's no texture or swirl or grooving to the surface where the holes are. Now, I will tell you, on the Polaris, the pleats were 43. I counted them. There's 43 pleats, and the dimensions of the actual filter is 2 3/8 across, 2 3/8 by 1.5 inches tall. 2 3/8 by 1.5 inches tall. You can say the same thing for the Napa and the wicks. The dimensions are identical. 2 3/8, 2 3/8, 1.5 inches tall. Now, one of the differences between the pure Polaris and the others will be the pleat count and the uniformity or lack thereof of the pleating. I'll show you. Napa doesn't look too bad to start off with. Then you get some bigger gaps. And you didn't have that with the Polaris. You didn't have, a run of uniform pleating and then all of a sudden great big gaps. But you do with the Napa. And then you've got one area here that would, it's just entirely too tight, like this. That's just entirely too tight. It's going to take some pressure to move that oil through there. And I don't know about your machines. Mine's a low oil pressure machine. It doesn't generate, several pounds of pressure. Oil pressure. It's a low pressure machine, so you don't have a pump really blasting the oil through the system. So they're somewhat uniform on the Napa gold. However, there are a few concerns. There's just some irregular gapping, in my opinion. But overall, not bad. Not bad overall. The pleat count was 55. You got 55 pleats on this one with the same dimensions as this one. So you've got more media coverage on this one than you do this one. That's what your head tells you. But I don't necessarily, without cutting them apart, I don't necessarily know that that's true. Because they are so tight. I would be concerned about oil flow. To where on this one, your oil's not going to have trouble getting through this one. It's just not. It's a good little filter. It really is. The wicks. The wicks it's ununiform. How about that? It varies like an accordion in some places. 3 or 4 pleats, and then big gaps, and then accordion, and then another huge gap. Look at this. Look at this. Here at my thumb. There. You got 3 nice tight ones. There, 2. There. It, boy, it's just irregular. A little disappointing, to be honest. The wicks is just a little disappointing. Particularly given the price. I think this one is just glued together. I believe. The because there is not a metal clip on the. That's not metal. That's a marker point where I counted the pleats. The Napa is the same way. There is no metal clip. I'm guessing that somewhere in this, they are glued together, or clipped from the back side, maybe. I don't know. The pleat count on the wicks was 49. So 49, 55, 43. The frame, again, the media is considerably larger. It's 2.5 inches across by 2.5 in length. The filter size is the same as the Polaris. Circumference is the same, diameter. However, the overall height of the filtering media is larger. Now, again, these are all metal capped, smooth finished inside. That's your pressure valving on top of the wicks, smooth finish. Napa, pressure valve on top, smooth finish. Fram, open top, where your pressure valve sits on top and sealed down on the rubber seal. The interior is perforated like the others, but it is grooved. If you could see those are grooves. I don't know if it's to swirl the oil or what that's all about. I'm sure it has a purpose. The pleating on the frame is fairly uniform. It's bound together with a metal clip where it binds two pleats together. Some gappage there. However, once you get past either side of the metal clip, the uniformity of the pleating is satisfying to me. Again, it's a metal cap, metal bottom. The cheap junk frames will have cardboard top, cardboard bottom, and I've even seen them frame and lesser, even lesser quality and price filters. There'd be cardboard throughout. That's just junk. Okay, that's just junk. I don't know how much more effective or less effective this type of pressure valving system is as compared to the closed end permanent style. I don't know. I do not know. Again, I use the Fram Ultra XGs on my personal truck, and I've not had a problem. I've been extremely satisfied with them. Extremely satisfied. So, that's some of the nitty-gritty of the inside of these filters. One other difference, the Fram comes with the grip on the end. It is formed for a oil filter wrench, but I don't like using oil filter wrenches because you tend to over tighten the damn things whenever you do use them. So I particularly like this as compared to the slick painted. If your hands are oily, and you're underneath there dealing with things, it's just, it could be a pain getting a good grip on one of these. I'd like to see, particularly Polaris, dip theirs. I don't know if somebody would like to comment on maybe dipping your own with some gripping stuff, or how you would go about doing that. Now for the bad news. Well, news. The Pure Polaris. Pure Polaris at my local dealer, $13.87. Again, the pleat count was 43, and it's made in Mexico. Country of origin, Mexico. I don't much care for that, but that's just my opinion. Napa. Pleat count was 55. Made in the USA. Cost $12.48 at Napa. That's $1.39 savings over the Polaris. Is a savings truly a savings if it's an inferior product? To each his own opinion on that issue. Myself, no. But that's my opinion. It's assembled. My camera won't focus, but it's assembled in the USA. There we go. Assembled in the USA. Napa. About everybody's got a Napa store somewhere nearby. O'Reilly's. Wicks. Pleat count was 49. $13.33 at O'Reilly's. I don't know if you can buy them cheaper elsewhere online, but my local O'Reilly's, $13.33. 54-cent savings over the Pure Polaris. These also are assembled in the USA. So keep that in mind if you wish. Fram from Walmart. Pleat count was 30. It's fewer pleats, but more media overall. So without tearing it apart and measuring the media, I don't have an exact figure for you. I'm just going by the dimensions. The bigger the dimensions, there's got to be more media there, I would think. But that may not be so. That may not be so. Walmart, $9.03. That's a $4.84 savings over the Polaris. And it is made in the USA. Right there. Not assembled, but made in the USA. Fram, Walmart. Well, guys and girls, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I learned some things. I answered some of my own questions. Take from this what you will. If you like Purelators, great, use Purelators or whatever brand you may choose. I know what I'm going to use. Anyway, I sure hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a great day.